So, how you doing today, bro?
I'm all right.
Right. Can you state your name for the interview? For this basically this is a documentary for parents that lost a child to death or prison. In your case, you lost your son.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, can you state your name for the camera? And
My name is Stephen Kelly from Joliet.
Joliet, Illinois.
Joliet, Illinois. Born in Michigan, but raised in Joliet. My son is Andrew Stephen Kelly Knox. Is my son.
Most definitely. Like I said, this documentary is for parents that lost their child to death or prison. So, the basis for the documentary is like kind of try to like, they say like a wise man learn by his mistakes, but a wiser man learned by the mistakes of others, or that like something like that. So can you kind of like the upbringing of your son, like how was as a child? Like did you like?
It's normal child, just like everybody else. I was a bad kid myself, so when he did little shit bad that I looked over it, but for the most part he was a good kid. He listened. He had his little disputes with other little kids, but he didn't really take no garbage from nobody. He'll fight. He'll fight you even if you're bigger than him. But other than that, he's a caring kid, man. Went to, he was kind of bad in school. For the most part, he got into his little mischievous stuff in school, but he straightened up and got out of there, graduated, and got out, got out of high school. But for the most part, he was a regular kid, just like everybody else, heart loving, and good to his little brother, good, he's good to, always good to me, Yeah, his mother, of course, me and his mother wasn't. We weren't together, we weren't living together, but, I seen him every birthday, every holiday, every day, For the most part, I lived in Joliet, so, I had other kids that lived out of town, but I lived in Joliet, so I seen him, whenever I wanted, So I stayed around the corner from him a couple of times, so he made it his business to always come by and see his little sister, Simone, anyway, so, we was around him a lot, big influence on him.
So, the night that your son passed away, like, what was the call? What kind of call did you get, and what did you? What was your initial reaction to the situation?
Well, Andrew had been shot before a couple of times, So initially, I'm just thinking, oh damn, they shot him, a boy, But the only thing different about this one is that his mom called. And she was hollering, she was screaming, she was like, Stevie, get down there, get down there. I'm sitting there thinking like, and I jumped up, and I ain't gonna lie, I had to calm down a little bit, Lisa was like, calm down, Moose, because I just went through something myself, I just, went through this accident, in January, and I ain't wanting my heart to get to beating too hard because I had some type of slight chemical heart attack myself. On the operating table, so I didn't want to, be too nervous. But I jumped up, and it scared me initially, so, I had to calm down, and then I just started rushing down there to the spot they say it was, and they said then somebody called and said it wasn't Druski, and and Druski was okay. He was up at the hospital. They said he was at the hospital, and they said he was okay. You know what I'm saying? So we pulled to the side, and I was like, okay, good, man, he at the hospital, So we started rushing up there. Then I got another call from my nephew. He was like, nah, I seen his shoes. Uncle Moose, them is his shoes. So because I had been down there already, so I turned back around, and just flew down there. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and that's, I didn't see it at first because the police weren't letting me around, but then I seen his shoes too, and I knew them shoes too, But that's how, I almost had a heart attack, but, that's how I was initially when I first got the call, I had, my heart started beating real hard, so at first I jumped up, I was going to run down there, And then after I jumped up, I realized, how nervous I got, because when you get older, things change. When you're younger, you get, sudden things happen, you can just jump up and react. When you're older, I almost had a damn heart attack, when I heard what happened. But once I jumped up, and I didn't really know it was official until I got down there, though. That's when we seen him, laying in the street.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, like when you heard it, like you just explained, you kind of like went into like a panic mode, and it was like, man, like, no, this can't be happening. So like when you got there, like, and when you got to the hospital and like stuff like that, did it seem kind of like surreal? Like, did you feel like that this is not real, this is not happening? Did he pass away right away, or was he?
Well, what I was hearing, what I've been hearing is that Andrew was hit, from like different angles, probably from I don't know, maybe it was a couple people, but Andrew died on the spot. So when we got down there, it was a couple other kids, the ones I thought it was him. They got rushed to the hospital, but all the detectives and stuff, they let him lay there for a long time. All my daughters was down there, and then my wife Lisa was down there, and his sisters and brothers all came down, and cousins and everybody. We was trying to tell him to get him off the street, but you know how it is. They wanted to get probably fingerprints and do their police jobs or whatever. But he didn't make it to the hospital. He was he was laying down in front of us the whole time. I'm trying to gather myself at the same time. I couldn't, I had my daughters out there, and they ain't had no coats on. It was February, almost below zero, so we stayed out there the whole time, until when the coroners came up, the ambulance, they never picked them up. He didn't get picked up until the coroners came. The coroner van or whatever that was came and got him.
So do you think, like, in our communities, especially in the black communities, because that's where we come from, we're going to speak about that. Do you feel like we can't really even say like just them. Do you feel like that we are, that we self-destructing ourselves or stuff like that? Do you think?
Well, to tell you the truth, man, it's been going on for a long time, man, and it varies. It's not all of us. It seemed like the younger generation, man. It just seemed like, it used to be, and even back then, it wasn't right. It used to be for a color, a gang, territory. Now, all the stuff going on in Chicago and the stuff that goes around, and it's been going on in Joliet, man. I don't understand what it's for, because if it ain't about the gangs and literature and colors and whatever, like I said, if it ain't about that no more, what is it about, and it just seemed like a lot of it be senseless and senseless killings, a lot of and the streets also, man. That's another thing, man. The street, you got people that run their damn mouth in the street, and they mock you, like a lot of this shit. That's why a lot of this shit happened to my son. You got people saying he done did this, he done did. Every time somebody did something, it was my son. So he got labeled as being this monster. When in reality, he was good with children. He was good to me. Respectful kids. They just see the bad side. They see the side that they show when you're out. Like you said, it's who you're around. And it's plus it's the upbringing. It's the upbringing of these kids nowadays, and no respect. They don't have no respect for the elders. They don't have no respect for women. And each other. These gun laws. It's terrible. So it's just something that, man. That's been going on for a while, but just getting worse. It's like a snowball. It's like getting bigger and it's bigger and badder and worse. That's why you can't even go to a public place now without shots being fired, man. So to answer your question. Man, I don't see it getting no better, and I think it's getting worse because it's the education of, just ourselves, in the whole, the history of black folks, and and just a lot is lost, man. A lot is lost. Everybody worry about a bag and how they look, and women getting all the operations and just looking good, and it ain't real no more. Nothing is real no more, man. So.
I agree with that, bro. That's truthful. So how did you how did you deal how were you able to cope with the situation with the loss of your son? Were you did you turn to, because like a lot of us, like myself, I'm not gonna lie, I turned to like a lot of drugs, which I now have like got away from, as far as like a lot of stuff, like stuff that probably would harm me.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
did you like get, were you like how did you just cope with the whole situation
man.
mentally and spiritually, or any type of
Well,
way?
to tell you the truth, I'm still coping with it now. But
Me too.
I shut everybody out for a while. I had a lot of family calling, and like I said, the first couple weeks, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to feel. And a couple times I felt like I couldn't breathe or something. It's hard to explain, but I just took it day by day, man, and I asked God for help. I prayed about it. I took everybody's prayers in that was sending me prayers. But what I did, man, is just it's hard to explain. I ain't gonna lie, I cried a lot, man. I was upset, man. I cried so much, man. I lost weight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't eat. And what I did really is just I got a lot of pictures of him. So, I just, I'll be at work, I just, I look at a picture, or either I see somebody with a video, or I look at a video of them, and or either I talk to my grandmother. She just lost her son also. A lot of people, older people, was calling me, and I had people calling me that had lost kids. I had a friend, my friend Willard Leslie, Hurt Leslie. He lost a kid. My sister, she lost her daughter. And those are the people that kind of got my attention and helped me a little bit, because they had lost somebody before. So I just tried to do what they did, and at the same time do a little something for myself, like with the pictures, or like my Facebook. But and it's still things I want to do. Like I want to put a screensaver on my phone, but I ain't that strong yet, because I'm surprised I'm able to talk this long, because a lot of times I get upset, because like I said, everybody just seen the Druski. The Druski wasn't Druski. He loved kids, man. He loved kids. He loved everybody. You know what I'm saying? He did. He a lot of that shit he was going through was self-defense. You got people who try to take yours or set you up or do this and that. He used to tell me a lot of shit, but like I tell him, man, I got to go to work in the morning. After all the drama is done, man, you got to be a man. You have to be able to support all these kids you made, man, and make the right decisions. So I used to have to cut them off a lot. Nah, I just hate that I did that. But yeah, like I said, I'm still coping with it now, man. And I'm by myself a lot. I don't be upset in front of my girls, or or my family a lot. So I do a lot of driving. So. I deal with it when I'm by myself and when I'm at work, because I got a whole west wing of the wall of where I work at, so if I am hurt, I just let it all out there, because there ain't no other way you can deal with it. You gotta let it come naturally, I used to try to hold it back, and all that, but, you can't hold it back, you just gotta let it out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that, because like just this morning, like I was by myself and I was working out, it was like, it just comes out, it
comes, man. Just like right now, you could be talking, you be good, you chilling, all of a sudden, bam, man. Last week, we had my cousin, my boy Justin's house, we chilling, we having a drink, we chilling, we talking. All of a sudden, I just think about him, and then I had to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
I had to go straighten myself up, my wife, she went through similar stuff, Lisa, she lost her dad, and we be chilling, having a good day, we doing the river walk. All of a sudden, she crying. I'm like, what you crying for, She said, it comes and goes. And I always be like, man, you just got a big heart. No, you don't have to have no big heart. You know yourself. You lost your kids, so that's something you weren't supposed to have to go through. So it's something different to me, because I was, when I was a kid, I was rowdy. I fought a lot. I was in sports, and but we thought, we ain't come with the guns. We ain't do that. We thought we was able to see each other, years later, But yeah, man, it was super rough, man.
So what is there a message that you want to give to the younger generation, as far as the streets and things that stuff like that?
Yeah, it is. One thing about my son, he was, I guess, I don't know if they call it. I ain't saying he was one of the, one to have the clout and all that, but a lot of kids nowadays, you too gangster, or you're too strong, or you're too big, or you want the clout. You want, don't let that pride or that the stubbornness get in front of you, man. When it comes to deciding your fate or your life, kids nowadays, man, they. In front of everybody, I guess you're tough and you're bad and whatever. I don't know why. I don't know who they're trying to prove it to, either the younger generation to each other, or because they're damn sure they're trying to prove it to us. So, man, all I got to say is that, just respect life. Respect life, because, these same people that you mugging and you shooting and you killing, you might even feel like that 10 years or 15 years from now when you older. Or you go through life and, you lose your kid, or something might happen to you bad. That's the thing now. You're cocky and you're tough and you're leading this life of being, being mean. That ain't nothing but the devil. I ain't really a religious person, but I do know about God.
I know what you're saying.
But yeah, it's just, take that and throw it away, man. You just gotta, especially, each other. We seem like we kill each other like it ain't shit. You don't see a lot of white guys out here, young white dudes out here killing each other. Of course it happens everywhere, but to each other, we kill each other like it ain't shit, man. Like it's a basketball game, and it happens in Chicago. It's been happening in Joliet. Y'all younger brothers, so it's happening. Actually, I think it's worse now than it was. And it was bad when I was coming up. I may have thought, but the boys, that shooting shit came out by 87, by 86, 87, on no more thumping, So, yeah, if I had some advice, is to slow down, man, and respect each other more, man. We got mothers and brothers and sisters and uncles and family, man, that's going, you don't realize who y'all are taking from you, all they seen was Druski. They ain't know took a father, they took a son, they took a brother, an uncle, a good guy, saying? He loved kids, man, he loved life, period. He loved everybody. If you got to know him, he laughed all the time. You seen all his damn videos, if they see him, they knew he was a jokester. Like me, we like to play, but he had a serious side like we all do. And some people, when they serious side, they can't turn it off. Some people got to switch, you can turn it on or off. Some people can't turn it off,
Like myself, I'm not gonna, me myself personally, I have some regrets that I have with my son that I wish. Do you have any regrets with yourself? Do you have any regrets that you would have, wish you would have?
Yeah, I do. One thing I do regret, man, is that, I wish I'd have got a hold to him a little bit when he was younger, because he was two different households, just by me coming by or trying to lay down law, wasn't good enough, because when it was time, to come get that ass, he'd being bad with that ass, his mom always sheltered him. Sure enough, she'd let me know a few times, she ain't really let me know a lot, but a lot of times she'd be like, hey, come get in his ass. Then when I come to get in his ass, how mothers are, But, I just wish I would have, really maybe got to his head when he was a younger kid, then maybe he'd have, listened when he was older. But who's to say he would have listened, though? He always respected me, and he always listened to me. He listened to me and said, yeah, I'm going to do this, Pop, I'm going to do that. It's just that he went and did a different, he went into a different route after he told me. And he was always respectful. We never, the cussing to me and cussing and acting a fool, and he was never that. He was good. That's why it was so hard to believe he was this guy that everybody's seeing him to be out in the streets. And it's another thing this is I'm fast forwarding to the future now. I wish I wouldn't have told him he was a lie when he told me he was wrestling niggas on their knees when he was in Stateville. I was like, man, get out of here! You ain't wrestling no damn body on your knees. Who you think you are, Credible Hawk? Years later, this dude, man, I got a cousin named David. There was this other guy. They was talking amongst each other. They was like, they was locked up. They was like, hey man, he asked my cousin David. He said, this motherfucker right here. He's like, yeah, he said, this motherfucker, man, he wrestling niggas on his knees, man, and fighting 4 or 5 people and just wilding out in here. And then David told me, he said, yeah, your son in here wrestling people. And I had been telling him, I said, you a damn lie. You ain't wrestling nobody on your fucking knees, man. Stop lying to me all the time. And it's a joke, but I wish I could have told him, hey man, I didn't know you was wrestling people on your knees. You a rough boy, you a bad boy, you wrestling people on your fucking knees. But yeah, he was supposed to come see me. I got to the accident in January, and he was supposed to come see me. And He never came to see me. And actually, the day before he got killed, I got the text on my phone. He was like, I'm on my way. I'm ready to come see you, Pops. And he got killed. He got killed the next night. Yeah. So, you know, in a nutshell, I just wish I'd have been there more. You know, I mean, money and child support and birthdays and holidays, that ain't shit compared to a father that's there talking to your son and molding them, and really letting them understand what life is, you know. So if I can do anything over, man, I'd like to get him when he was young.
I see it in your face, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. So, do you feel like fathers are important in the child's life? Because we get so much static on fathers, like how mothers be single mothers and all this stuff. Like mothers get a lot of support, but what do you think about fathers?
Fathers have to be there, because at a certain age, a boy turns into a man, and if you respect your mom, yeah, true enough, you respect your mom, you're gonna do everything she say. But you got some kids that's rebellious, you know what I'm saying? So them slaps you get from your mom or her discipline is not gonna be like his. You know, because when a baby sees a man or hear his voice, they're already intimidated by his voice as a baby, as a child. So once you start getting older, you need that figure, you know, in your life, you know. Even if it's a mild-mannered dad, you know, you need that man there to make him think, do he want to pull it or not? When he get big enough to where he think, you know, he's the man, he gonna do what he want to do. He got a man to deal with, instead of opposed to a woman. You know, but like that's not all the time with everybody. You got people that respect their mom like me. You know, I wouldn't. You know, but I was rebellious. I got slapped a couple times too, but I wouldn't have got slapped if Daddy was there, because I wouldn't want to get punched. You know, in other words. So, you know, so fathers, man, and plus they not only that, not just for discipline. They there to set an example, man, just to let your kids see what they need to do when they get older. Like, you know, Dad getting up every day, going to work. You know, setting examples. You know, and being nice to his wife. You know, and. You know, it's a lot of things. You know, yeah. I definitely say, hell yeah, a kid definitely needs his father, a father figure, not just his father, but father figure.
You got any questions that you had that you want to ask?
What would you say to the younger generations about their image and how they carry themselves? Like you say that, you know, like the police and other people not close to your son saw him one way, but they didn't know who he really was.
Okay. Well, first of all, the image, you know, you're gonna have people that's gonna look at you. You know, I just had just a couple days ago. I had this one lady, man. She's a nice white lady, you know, and she's not racist or nothing, but you know, she was at the funeral home, and they was having a funeral, and she was ramping on about how, you know, their pants were pulled down and all the dreads and the cursing and this and that. So the image thing, you know, that's something that they're gonna have to either get used to, or you know, that's something they're gonna have to just deal with like they've been, you know. And but yeah, the image thing is important, man, because you got kids that's under us, you know. You got kids, you know, that's under the younger kids. You got kids that's 20, 25 years old, and you got kids that's looking up to them, you know. And if all they saying is us shoot each other and act a fool with each other, but not really, you know. And you know, there used to be a word, I think genocide, something like that. You know, we crazy with each other. You know, we'll kill each other, but you know, you don't see no other races really doing that, you know, out in the open. You know, you got people in Grant Park and certain streets, you know, in Chicago, you know, just killing each other, you know. But our image, we need to tighten up on that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And maybe we'll get a lot more opportunities when it comes to, you know, jobs and life, you know. But my son, man, I just want, if I didn't get nothing across, I just wanted people to know that he was good with kids, man. He was respectful. He's respectful to his mom, to me too, you know, especially, you know. I never bumped heads with my son, you know, and just a loving person, you know. He had a smile that, you know, that brightened up the room. He liked to joke and play, you know what I'm saying? And it's just that, you know, and he had a different side to him also, like we all do, you know. You know, I'm a comedian. I like to play. You know, I like to joke a lot. But you know, if you got some guy that would push me and want to fight, you know, I ain't the one to walk away. You know, I'm gonna fight. You know, so I'm just being real. You know, and I guess, you know, he had a lot of that in him. You know, I could turn mine on and turn it off. You know, But for the most part, man, Druski, he was a good kid, man, and he loved everybody, man. If you cool with him, he cool with you. You know, just that, you know, just had a, you know, kind of a quick temper, you know. But other than that, he was a loving son, man, and relative, brother, uncle. You know, he's pretty much round out, pretty, you know, just like the rest of these kids out here. It's a good kid, just, you know, the environment. You know, you around all these thugs and so-called bad people, you know. If that's who you're around, I guess you got to be bad, you know. You know, it's the road, it's the path you take. You
Adapt to your environment, almost.
There you go, right there. That's how you got to adapt to your environment. You know, we all had to, you know. Okay. Well, basically, man, you know, what's gonna happen is you know, we don't know the future. You know, only God knows what's gonna happen in the future. But the best thing to do is just try to, man, raise your kid in a manner to where, you know, you were raised right. You know, years ago, you know, it seemed like, you know, we raised even that kids that wasn't ours. You know, you see kids in the streets, you know, you tell them something good, you do a good deed, you know, and you know, and if you do have a kid, man, to wind up, you know, being raised and wind up being rebellious like that, man, and don't want to listen to nothing you say, all you can do, man, is pray over him, you know, and tell him what may happen to him. You know, like, you know, I used to tell my son, you know, I used to always talk to him, but like, you know, he never really let me in on everything he was doing, but I kind of knew he wasn't always into something right, you know. So what I used to do always, I prayed over him, you know. I prayed every morning, you know. I asked God to forgive him for his sins, you know, in the past, present, and the future, you know. And one thing about it, when you are raising your kids, you know, true enough, you know, you got to let them get out there and see what life is like, you know, at certain ages. But one thing you have to do also is, you know, you got to let them know some of your life experiences. You know, if you have some, even if you don't want to explain, or if you have to tell them some bad shit about yourself, you know, you want to, you got to let them know, well, hey, you know, this is what happened to me. I got shot, you know, and I was doing this, you know, I was trying to, you know, you got to enlighten them on something, you know, because he wants, that's what he's seeking for, your attention anyway. You know, we are kids' first teachers, you know, so. You know, but anybody who have lost a kid, you know, lost a child like that, you know, one thing I could say is that, you know, it's worse if you don't have other children. Now, if you have other children, you know, you have to be there for those other children. You know, make sure they don't go around the same path. You have to, you know, you're still a parent. You know, you still have to, even though if they're older, you still got to, you know, comfort them and, you know, and let them know that you love them and focus more on them, because there ain't nothing, you know, you really can do from, you know, ain't nothing you can do really. You know, you got people that want answers, but you got people that need counseling, and, you know, my grandfather always said we didn't have enough money for counseling, you know, so, you know, we use each other, you know, we got my wife, your brothers, and your sisters, you know, and that's what I use, you know, I let family heal me, you know, and, you know, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, you know, I'm forgiving, you know. You have to be able to forgive, you know. Just like all these kids out here killing each other, you know. You have to be able to forgive. Like I said earlier, you know, you never know 10, 15 years down the line, you know, that same person that killed my son may have different feelings, you know. We don't know if he may ask for forgiveness for God, you know, to forgive him. So we can't stay mad at him and the other people that lost kids, you know, because we don't know what they're doing, you know, behind closed doors. You know, they can be, you know, hey, God forgive me for killing this man, I feel bad, you know, then we steady being mad at him and wanting him dead and, you know, wanting to do this to him, you know, we don't know, you know, we may have tied things together, you know, with God, you know, so you have to be able to forgive. But for the most part, man, just, you know, raising your kids, man, it's different for all of them. You know, every kid is different. You just have to, you know, younger parents, you know, you guys do a good job with raising the kids. My other sons, they do a pretty good job with kids nowadays. You know, just you know, pay attention to them, listen to them. You know, you got to take that time out. Although you're busy with your car, you're busy with your job, just make sure you take time out with them and you give them that time, because if God take them, you're gonna be wanting it back. You know.
Yeah, that's important. A lot of people, you know, they don't they in their kid's life, but they're not present in their kid's life.
Right. They thinking money is gonna give everything. I give them money, I buy them this, I buy them that, not knowing that that kid really wants them. You know, and that's another thing that I hate. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wish I would have talked to my son more, because I didn't find out till he was dead that he was depressed, and he was always so happy around me, playing and joking, playing cards, and then, my kids started telling me, yeah, well, he was depressed a lot, and that hurt me, because I can't say nothing now, because if I knew he was depressed back then, I'd have been like, what's wrong? What you depressed about? Let me help you, Let me do what I can, because now, it's too late. I can't do nothing,
Dang. That's deep there, cause you. So I have this question. I have to ask this. So do you feel like we need more programs in our neighborhoods with that type? What you just saying that? I was finna cut it right there, but after you said it, I gotta ask this question. Like, do you feel like we need more programs in our neighborhoods for situations like that for people that's going through that?
Oh yeah, I think so, man. You know what it is, especially with men. Women, they're emotional from start. A lot of them they hold it back too. But men, us, we more stubborn, and you keep holding it in, and you figure you just get by it. But yeah, we need some type of counseling for these kids. And like I said, my grandfather used to always say, you gotta, money is for everything. But you know what? If they have free medical, that's that the president is giving out, that should be under the same category as talking to these kids nowadays. Because you got a lot of them that's depressed and won't even tell you. You'll be around them every day. They laughing and playing, and then all of a sudden it's a big shock. They done killed themselves, or either they allow themselves to get killed, or for whatever reason don't care about life. So that's just something. That's something that's not around. You don't have a lot of counseling, and these kids they really looking for it, and they want it, but they scared to tell you. They scared to tell their daddy. Their daddy gonna think they weak, or their friend gonna think they weak. So, we need some people out here, like people that can reach out, and interfere and talk to these kids, man. Even if ain't nothing wrong with you, just to see where your head is at, whether it goes on in school, whether it goes on at home, like you said, out in the community somewhere, people can talk to you, But it's needed, though. It's definitely needed, because if I knew that, my son, I would have definitely did something to help my son with his depression.
So, man, I thank you for coming down and giving your story and speaking about things that you feel that's needed in our communities, and shining a light on not just the negative part of a person's life, and spreading light on their light, basically. Because a lot of us have a dark side, a lot of us have a light,
right.
That's light. So,
right.
But thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Man.
Thank you for having me. All right.